born a Phobian, got opportunity to serve Accra Hearts of Oak. My best memories created by Hearts of Oak. And I saw your name. I didn't know what you had to do with Hearts of Oak. You know, and I know that we're not going to Pram for camping. You know. But you're reported to have said that you won't spend your money on a local club like Hearts of Oak for the money to be spent on juju. That's what I read. For the money to be spent on juju. And I was like, am I reading right?
Raddy, thank you very much.
What happened to you?
Good morning to you and to our viewers. It's interesting the kind of spin, and I dare say that maybe our noisy neighbors who were red have gone into overdrive with their PR spins on what was said. I granted an interview to Nana Banamwa on Star Chat on Wednesday, and she asked me about the National Science and Maths quiz, which school I attended in Ghana and which school and how I say. And I said, well, I didn't attend secondary school in Ghana, but I support any school that is winning. Then she teased me and said, for someone who supports Arsenal, that's a very interesting thing because Arsenal wins nothing. And I said to her, she should stop it. And she was like, but why do I support Arsenal? And I said, oh, I love the club. And she said, what local team do you support? Then I sing the Hearts of Oak anthem. Arose, arose, arose. Finish that, sing a few other Heart songs, and then say, I'm a proud Phobian. And anybody who's followed me on social media would know my postings about Accra Hearts of Oak. However, I make the point that there's a problem for me which goes beyond Hearts of Oak, even the Black Stars national team. And we went on to discuss the Black Stars. But relative to Hearts of Oak, I said, look, every year, and for a few years now, I've been a paid-up member of Arsenal Football Club. And I said, your membership costs you almost $1,000. You get paraphernalia from the club. You get messaging letters from the manager, from Arsene Wenger. I have letters from Wenger, Unai Emery, all the way, Ljungberg, now Arteta. And at the end of every year, you get a statement that tells you what the club has used the money for. Mm-hmm. So I would love to put my money also in Hearts of Oak. And I know several people who want to be paid up members of Hearts of Oak and hold like season tickets. However, when there are no clear-cut structures to allow you know what your money is going to be used for, there's no clear-cut structure that tells you you've paid X amount or we've received X amount from paid up members. This is what the club has used it for, and all you may end up getting is a statement that will tell you 80%, 85% of the money was used for ways and means.
Which means what?
Fantastic. You've watched the number 12 expose and seen what has been said of Ghanaian football and ways and means. Either unaccountable impressed expenditures. Those are the issues that I raised and said, look, we need better accounting. I nowhere in that interview spoke about juju. I don't know where that twist is coming from, but this is what I said, that look, there are people who are willing to put money into the clubs and also know that, okay, I'm a season ticket holder of Accra Hearts of Oak. So that my support of Accra Hearts of Oak goes beyond Facebook to actually putting some resource into a club that I love. And that day we spoke about, she asked me how I fell in love with Hearts of Oak. I said I fell in love with Hearts of Oak when I was in secondary school in Nigeria. When I just finished secondary school in 2000, I told her that our Hearts was big in Nigeria at that time. The rivalry with Eyimba and the continental winning team, the babyface assassin, Ishmael Ado and Emmanuel Sekufo and that squad. And so I spoke about Hearts in glowing terms and went ahead to say that, look, we need to have consultation. And in all fairness, yesterday I got a call from someone I consider a father. And I know he's not going to have a problem with me putting out the fact that he called me because he was worried as well. Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo. He called me and said, Imbi, we know how you on Charles again. And I broke it down for him. This is what I said. Then he goes on to say, oh, but Sam, a lot of the things that you are asking for are being done. Then he goes on to tell me that, look, Hearts of Oak is the only club in Ghana today that is building and having its own training facility at Pobiman. And I said to him, I've heard about it. But I asked him, I said, Dad, who knows what you are doing in Pobiman? Do you have club members who pay an annual fee to the club, who you account to? He says, well, you have a point. I said, so what I said was to stimulate the club to see how they can open up the frontiers and have people come in. Because Dr. Nyawo spoke about the fact that funds may not be ready. Funds really don't pay. And so people don't really put their money. There's a few people who are putting their monies and carrying the Phobian Club. And I said to him, what happens to Hearts of Oak when the likes of Toby Afede, the likes of him, Frank, and co, all leave? When nature catches up with them, what happens to Hearts of Oak? How do we make it sustainable? You can only make Hearts of Oak sustainable when you have a system where I don't need to know Nyahotama. I don't know anybody on the board of Arsenal. I didn't speak to anybody. I just went onto the arsenal.com website. It gave me all the steps I needed to know to register. Put in my address here in Accra. And every year, they send me material religiously at the beginning of the season, at the end of the season. So I don't need to be an MP. I don't need to be a public figure. I don't need to know anybody in the management. And this is all I'm asking my darling club to do. So my darling club members who may have not watched the interview is on Facebook, on Star FM's Facebook page. They can go and watch what I said. But this is what I'm asking for. Now look, let us have the opportunity to support our club. Not just with mouth and chapter O songs, but with money as well. But the only way you can do it is when the club gives you the opportunity. Look, I'll give you a typical example. Arsenal. When we moved from Highbury to Emirates, on the floor at Highbury and in front of the Armory, which is our shop, the shop that sells Arsenal paraphernalia at the Emirates, they sell, look, it's like one inch by 1 meter by 1 meter. It's very small. It's smaller than this A4 sheet. It's about half of this A4 sheet. Spaces. You can put your name and then they engrave it. Now it's sold out. You can't even get it. It's completely sold out. At that time when it was selling for about, each of those boxes were selling for about either £80 or £180 if my memory serves me right. And it's a big space. There's over 10,000 names there. So everybody was rushing to put it there. It was done. Do something for your kids. So that your kid will say that I have a part of the club. So at Pobiman, for example, where we are going to churn out material and quality talent for Hearts of Oak. Can't we have something like that where Sam George will say, oh, because I want to associate with the club and I want it to be immortalized for 5,000 cedis, 10,000 cedis, there's a small square, like a wall of fame, that I put my money into building Pobiman. So it is there with my name and where I come from. That's all. And Ghanaians who want to support Hearts of Oak can do that. All These are the things that we're talking about, Randy.
Okay, all right. So at least you get to clarify the point. I think that is basically a challenge to the current management and the directors to really look at.
And it shouldn't just be Hearts, any other club.
Reaching out a lot more. Yeah. You do know where the Hearts Secretariat is?
I know it's around Kojo Thompson, opposite no, not Kojo Thompson. The
what
trust.
Are you pointing to?
Okay, I know it is. Let me not point anywhere. It is. I know it is around opposite the Trust Towers, Farrar Avenue.
Yes.
Yes, okay, Farrar Avenue.
You're correct.
Farrar Avenue. That's the name of the road. It's just opposite almost opposite the Trust Towers.
You're correct.
Yes.
Okay. So from here, it will take you 2 minutes.
Yes.
To get to the Secretariat. So Parliament is on recess.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm sure when you get there, you can have a chat with
sure, I will.
The guys there. So that you can sort out your issues and start spending money on...
Jomo Akabami.
No. But I think on a more serious... Our actions, especially in recent times, is also not even encouraging people to even want to go to the stadium. All these acts of hooliganism,
beating of referees,
and all that. I mean, you don't. My thing with the football community is that you don't destroy a thing that you want to earn you a living and make business sense. You don't do that because the same people who are involved in the industry, who is spending, and who complain about the lack of adequate returns in the industry are the same people who are perpetrating things that do not make the industry attractive. You understand me? So it's simple. You cannot sow wheat and expect to reap rice. It doesn't work that way. And you know, the use of new media and technology in dealing with supporters. I'm not saying that all these chapters and circles and mountains and dens are not important, but it is important that with the times that we're in, we need to, I mean, all those clubs who boast of millions of supporters and all that, they don't boast of those supporters on the basis of congregation at particular places.
Yeah.
The world has moved on, and so the strategies for organizing and for getting people together and using that as a platform to raise money and all that is changed, and we need to be abreast with those things and reach out to people. And then the issue of accountability that you spoke about, I mean, it must not be difficult for members, paid up members of clubs, to have audited accounts and to be abreast with what is happening with the club. I mean, even from the point of view of transparency, we're going to do this, we're getting the money from here, this is how much it's going to cost us, we're going to finish within this period, this is how much we're going to pay, this is how much we need to generate in order to retire this debt, to do this. And I mean, the transparency helps, you know, and so I think that, well, yes, it was bad press, but I think that is something that can be turned around, you know, and have a conversation that will benefit everybody.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. So.